We're on DAF Ayin Hey Amud Aleph, and we had seen in the Mishnah, Ein Solanes HaPesach, you're not allowed to roast the Korban Pesach using a metal spit or placing it over a grill. And then the Gemara had brought a story about Rabbi Gamliel, who instructed his servant Tabi to roast the Korban Pesach on a grill. So the Gemara asks the obvious question, Maisa Listor, you're bringing me a story which contravenes the halacha. The halacha is you're not allowed to use a grill, and then you bring me a maisa where Rabbi Gamliel tells his servant to roast it on a grill. So how do you reconcile that? So the Gemara says, Chisuri machzer of ahachi ktani. There's a piece missing from the Mishnah which has to be, you have to read it as follows. V'im askala menukeves mutar. Now Rashi understands the term askala menukeves meaning that it's a completely hollow grill. And what that means is that you've got your spit, the two edges of the spit rest on the two edges of the grill, and it's completely hollow in between the two edges of the grill. So the Korban Pesach the carcass is not resting on any metal. It's the spit that's resting on the metal, and it's completely open in the center. And that's what we say is okay. And Va'amar Rabbi Tzadok Ma'isa B'Ram Gamliel Shema L'Tabi Avdo Tzei Utzalei Lanu Es HaPesach Ala Askala Menukeves. And that's the story. The story was that Rabbi Gamliel told Tabi, his servant, not to roast the Korban Pesach on a regular grill, but rather on a completely hollowed out grill that's hollow in the center. Ba'amine Rav Chinana bar Idi me Rav Ado bar Ahava Tanur shehisiko b'klipe orlo v'garfu v'afa boas hapas l'divrei ha'oser mahu. So here's the question. You have to go back many weeks in your memory banks to remember the following discussion. We had talked about baking a loaf of bread in an oven where the fuel that is used to fire up the oven is an Isser Hana'ah, such as shells of orla fruit. And when you're using that as the fuel, is the bread usser or not? And the question that the Gemara had asked over there is, do we say yesh shevach eitzim b'pas? Do we say that the fuel that comes from the forbidden wood is inherent within the bread now because the energy that went into baking the bread is now part of the bread now? It's almost like a theory of relativity kind of question, right? Is there a law of conservation that the energy is now in the bread? So there was one opinion, which was Rabbi Yehuda, who said that yes, yesh shevach eitzim b'pas, and therefore the bread is usser. Here's my next question. My next question is, according to the opinion that says that it's usser in that case, what if you fired up an oven and heated it up, and then cleared out all of the forbidden fuel source? So now the only thing that you have is a very hot oven, but there's no forbidden fuel, and then you place your dough in the oven, and then you bake it that way. Will that bread be usser since the energy source, the fuel itself, is no longer present? That's the question. So Amarlei hapas muteris. So he said back, and he said that the bread is permitted. Amarlei b'ha'amar of Chanina Saba Amar Rabbi Asi Amar Rabbi Yechanan Tanur shehisiko v'garfa v'tzalabos ha'pesach ein zetz liyesh. But one second, we have a halacha from Rabbi Yochanan who says that if I fire up an oven and then I clear out all of the coals and all of the fire, but the walls of the oven are still piping hot, and I put my goat or my lamb inside the oven and it roasts just from the heat of the walls of the oven, that's not a kosher Korban Pesach. Why? Because that's not called tzli-eish, roasting over an open fire. Shenemar tzli-eish shtei pamim, because after all, the Torah says the words tzli-eish twice. And because it writes it twice, that indicates to me that there must be a live fire underneath the roasting animal. So the Gemara says like this: Time de goli rachmana tzliyesh shtei pa'amim, halo goli rachmana havi amina tzliyeishu. But you see that the only reason why that it's not a kosher Pesach is because the Torah has to go to the extent of writing tzliyesh twice. But what do you see from here? That normative roasting over fire is considered to be even when the fire is no longer present, as long as the heat that is present now was a result of fire, that is called tzli-eish. The exception to the rule is the Korban Pesach, because the Torah writes tzli-eish twice. But if the Torah would have only written tzli-eish once, what would be the halacha? The halacha would be that is acceptable fire roasting. So the question that the Gemara is asking is, the bread that's baking, even without the fuel source here, is as if the fuel source is here. And the bread should be usser. Just like when you roast a Korban Pesach, if the Torah had not written Sliesh twice, that would be kosher roasting, because even though the fire is not here, but the heat came as a result of the fire. The Gemara answers, Amalei Goli Rachmana Hasam V'Alfinan Mina. So answer number one is that when the Torah teaches me that there must be fire present in order for it to be considered to be roasted over fire, that is revelatory to all of the Torah. That whenever the Torah tells me that the energy that is put into something it's not considered to be present unless it's physically here. Just because the heat is a remnant of that fuel source doesn't mean that you consider the fuel source there. So it's like a binyanav. The Torah teaches that principle to me by Korban Pesach, that without the fire mamish here, it's not called sliesh. So too, without the orla shells as the fuel source present, it's not called a prohibited substance imbuing within the bread its isser. The iboyis ema, alternatively, says the Gemara, hasam time at the kasav rachmanat sliesh tei pa'amim. Halo kasav rachmanat sliesh tei pa'amim havamina aish kapid rachmana va'afilu garfanamit slieshu. Alternatively, the Gemara says you're